Most people are terrified to cook game meat at home. Today, we're gonna show you how to turn this venison into 3 incredible dishes. Welcome back to Dalstrong Culinary Academy. And back in the test kitchen today, Chef Gaetano Ferrara. Welcome back, Chef.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about what we're doing today.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing a roasted chop. We're going to be doing a tartare, and we're going to be doing a satay.
If I were to go to the butcher and ask them to prepare my cuts like this, how should I ask for them to do it? What's the term? Because it looks like it.
Well, if it doesn't already come like this, as if a rack of lamb would be,
right?
And it comes, fully covered with the cap still on.
Yeah.
You can ask them to French this for you.
Okay.
And they would strip it down to the bone.
So that's called the French cut.
Frenching, yes.
Okay, Frenching.
Basically what you do is you start with your spices here, and I have a variety of spices. I have black pepper, cinnamon, allspice, clove, juniper, fennel seed, just a big mix in here. And what you would do is you would take all these spices and you would throw them in your oven at 500 degrees and you would burn them till they look like this. And what this does is it mellows the spices so that it's not so intense and it actually complements the game meat versus overpower.
Okay.
All right. The very nice thing about it as well is that it actually has like a blackish tint that it's going to cover the entire rack. So basically we're going to go ahead and we're going to season our rack with salt, pepper, and our ash spice, and then we're going to sear it in the pan, a little bit of butter, we're going to baste it, and we're going to cook it. Important thing with venison and all game, it's super lean. As you can see here, there's no fat running through this at all. So that means we don't want to overcook it. We want to cook this as far as medium rare, and that's it.
Right.
No more than that, or else it gets really strong, livery in terms of flavor. And that's what turns people off of game meat sometime is if it's overcooked, it can be off-putting. And then after that, we're going to slide into making our venison tartare. So we're going to use further down the actual rack. As you can see here, they were once attached.
Yeah.
So we're going to use this portion here. I'm going to clean it all up, and we're going to use this for tartare, and then we're going to use this little bit over here, and we're going to make some skewers and satays out of it. We're going to give it a nice marinade with some sriracha, maple, soy, give it some different flavors. So I'm just going to basically come in here with my knife, and I'm just going to pull this off very, very easily. You can almost use your hands.
How long will it take to get this to medium rare? So how long would you cook this to get it to mid rare?
Medium rare for a venison rack like this, I'd probably just baste it in the pan for maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so. We'll do it today. We'll kind of find our way through it. It's a lot of just making sure we don't overcook it. I can take my meat for my satay, and I just cut it kind of on a bias, just so there's more surface area, and I just cut into strips.
And you're cutting against the grain?
I am cutting against the grain. This makes it more tender because the fibers of the meat aren't going in one direction. If I can cut them across the opposite way, then I'm basically segmenting those fibers so they're easy to chew. I'm going to throw it in my bowl. Okay, and I'm going to add just a touch of soy, a little bit of sriracha for some heat, and just give it a different depth of flavor.
And again, this is just a recipe, right?
A recipe.
You can do what anything that you want, any kind of flavor you're looking for.
Absolutely. Touch of maple syrup, some salt and pepper.
Why do you think people are averse to cooking game meats at home?
I think it's one of those things that if you haven't grown up eating it, it seems a little bit foreign to you, and people kind of get scared when they're not familiar with something. So I can understand why people may not gravitate towards it, but I know a lot of people, once they try it, they really, really enjoy it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of garlic here.
While Chef is preparing our first dish, I'd like to talk to you about some of the unknown health benefits associated with elk, venison, and fowl. Number 1, game meats are a leading source of protein and rich in essential nutrients like iron and zinc. They have a favorable fatty acid profile. They're low in saturated fats, but high in omega-3 fatty acids. So essentially, game meats are a power food. So now we're back, and I think that the marinade's done, so take it away, Chef.
Marinade's done. We've basically just added our ingredients. So I added a little bit of garlic, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of scallion. We're gonna let this sit in the fridge for half an hour or so and let it marinate.
Any salt or pepper in that?
Salt and pepper, yes.
Okay,
always.
Yep, just making sure.
Tartare is next. So we're gonna take our back strap here, right? And basically, we're gonna take this silver skin out.
Now, I gotta ask you a question because I love tartare myself, and I love game tartare. Venison tartare is amazing. I've had moose tartare as well. What is your particular chop that you use? Do you like a coarse chop, or do you like a fine chop, or do you like it somewhere in between?
Probably somewhere in between. So basically, we're gonna cut it all first.
I personally like a really coarse chop. I like those big chunks of meat, and I like getting that flavor right all over.
Absolutely, it's all preference.
But yeah. In terms of storage, like before and after, fresh is always best. So I mean, right into the hunting cabin onto the plate would be ideal, right?
Correct.
You wouldn't want to refrigerate it prior, right? You could actually go hunting, dress the animal, butcher it, and eat it right there and then, correct?
You could. There is a period of rigor mortis where the animal is too tough to eat. It needs to relax. In actual fact, when you harvest an animal, you should let it hang in a refrigerated area for a few days just so it can just loosen up altogether.
Okay.
And the natural bacteria can start to get to work to break down the tissue a little bit.
Okay.
So it's less tough.
How long could you keep it in the fridge covered in, say, a bowl covered in saran wrap for before you wouldn't eat it again?
Well, the reality is when we're making a tartare and we're making a dressing, there will be acid in that dressing.
Yeah.
Be it the brine from the capers, the vinegar, the mustard, whatever it might be. So it does have a little bit of preservation life on it. Now, the color will oxidize. It'll look different, but it doesn't mean that it's not edible. So I'm just making my final mince here. Okay, so that's just our beef dressing for the tartare. So we're going to start with a few things. So I'm going to take an egg yolk.
You can just separate the eggs and the whites.
That's right.
Okay.
Also some gherkins here, just for some nice acidity, some crunch.
Yeah.
I do love tartare.
I do too.
It is fantastic.
And it's healthy for you. Lean, high in protein, lean in fat. We got to add fat to it just to give it texture and flavor. And again, you can do variations on flavor profile, right? But this is a pretty classic tartare setup, right? Cornichon.
Pretty much. Cornichon,
capers, mustard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put some parsley in there too. Get some capers here. And then just give it a quick chop, just like that. I don't like anything too fine in terms of how it's being chopped.
And you don't want it over salted, right? Because these ingredients have salt in them already. So you got to be careful when you're salting and finishing off your final product.
Correct. We'll add some grainy mustard here. Just gives a nice texture, acidity. Okay, we'll give it a splash of red wine vinegar. A little bit of olive oil. So I'm just gonna mince some shallots here because I love shallots in my tartare.
Yeah.
So I've got my crostini here for my tartare, and I'm just gonna give it a little rub with some garlic.
Beautiful.
Okay. So this is probably the best garlic bread you could ever have. You just take a raw clove of garlic onto your toasted crostini. These have already just been baked off. Okay. Just give them a little rub down. Gives it a little bit of nice base flavor. Right, Stan, so you're next up with the skewering of the venison. So you can take...
How many do you want on each skewer, chef?
3 or 4 pieces.
3 or 4, okay.
Always make sure to soak your skewers in water. This way here, when they're on the barbecue, they don't burn. Okay, that's a really important thing a lot of people don't do. And then they lose their barbecue in the barbecue. So not great. So you can take maybe 3 pieces of these and just skewer them on.
Okay.
You can fish them through if need be.
Okay.
Okay, we have our griddle pan over here heating up so we can cook those off after.
Sounds good. What are you going to be working on while I'm doing this?
I'm going to dress our tartare. We have our dressing made here, which is fantastic.
Yep.
And we have our venison that's all diced up, okay?
Beautiful.
So we're going to add, I don't like to dump the whole thing in all at once. I'll just do a tablespoon at a time. This way here I can regulate how much I want.
Sure.
And then we're just going to give this a good stir, okay? So then when you have your tartare, you can literally just pile that right on the crostini. Almost like an hors d'oeuvre.
God, look at that. That's beautiful. It's a nice ratio of tartare to bread as well.
Yeah, you want to have a nice mix. You know, it can't just all be meat, unfortunately.
And what's that?
This is just a little bit of chiffonade parsley. So we cut them into little ribbons. They look pretty and they actually don't get crushed. So you get a really fresh parsley flavor. We'll get to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. There you have it.
Perfect. Look at that.
That's your tartare.
That's for the crew later.
Dish number 1 is complete. We have our venison tartare.
Yeah.
Dish number 2, you've finished preparing. We have our satays. So
yeah.
We have our griddle plate here heating up, nice and hot. We add a little bit of oil just to keep it from sticking.
Okay.
Now, these cook really quick.
Right.
They're so fine. It's not a ton of meat on there, so we just want to sear it.
Right.
Don't want to overcook it.
Like seconds, literally, right?
Seconds.
We're not even, yeah, we're not even.
30 seconds aside, and we're done. So these are ready to rock as well. We can finish it with a little bit of scallion.
Less than a minute on the grill. Like, yeah, and even 30 seconds aside, everybody.
A little bit of scallion.
Yes.
Ready to go. Done. So last but not least, we have our venison rack, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just remove a little bit of this silver skin right here.
Just a little bit of it?
Well, just want to remove it. I don't want to have to chew on that.
Right.
And now we have our rack that's ready to go. So I got my pan on nice and hot, okay? And first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to season it salt and pepper. And now I'm gonna use my ash spice here that we talked about earlier. So this is all ready to go, and we're just gonna season this up, okay? And now I'm going to add a little bit of oil to my pan here. Okay. And I'm going to sear my venison. So we're gonna take some cloves of garlic and we're gonna throw that right in the pan as well.
Yeah.
So we're just going to move this around the pan a little bit. You can see here it's already taken on a really dark,
So beautiful.
color.
Yeah.
And then you can add some nice butter to this, okay? And we're gonna add butter and that garlic, and everything's gonna come together really beautifully. And you can also take, you know, a little bit of shallot if you like. You can just leave the skins on because you're not gonna be eating them. Throw them in there. Anywhere you can add flavor, go for it. Add your parsley. Yeah. Anywhere you can add flavor, go ahead and do it, okay? And now I'm just gonna pop this in our oven for a few minutes.
Yep. In the oven at 425.
425. I wouldn't probably put it in there for more than 5 minutes. And then we're gonna pull it out. We're just gonna let it rest. We're gonna let all the juices go back to where they came from. And then we're going to carve it.
So we have tartare, we have skewers, and we have the rack. How long are we letting it rest for, chef?
Probably about 5 minutes or so. You just want it to be kind of warm to the touch. You don't want to be burning yourself because that would mean that the juices inside would be dying to spill out everywhere.
Yeah.
So if it feels warm to the touch, you're probably okay. So that's probably rested long enough.
Oh, I can see it before you guys. It's just look how gorgeous that is. And if you wanted to, you know, you could finish. I think you said olive oil and a little salt. You can, little Maldon or
Salt to
touch
with, touch of olive oil.
Chef, thanks again. It all looks so good. Do you want to give us all one last reveal of each dish before we sign off?
Absolutely. So here we have our ash spiced venison. We have our venison tartare. And lastly, we have our satays. Ready to go. So a little amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Little first course.
Yeah.
Little entree. Venison 3 ways. Very simple, no waste. Delicious.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. How is it?
Delicious. Enough of us. Let's get the crew in here. Crew, get in here. Bon appetit to you as well.